He's back. All you had to do was ask.
Wait, what did they say his name was?
Mario!
By this time, Mario Mayhem was in full effect. Everyone knew this plumber's name. Maybe not this one yet, though. His time will come. He was a household staple after basically single-handedly reviving the video game market. And his next title was gearing up to be his biggest adventure yet. Super Mario 3 came out February 12th, 1990 here in the States. This time we actually got the same game as Japan. Either they thought Americans were finally good enough at games to get the same game as them, or the game was just too good not to give to everyone. I think it was the latter. They didn't even have to put any gameplay in the commercial to get people to buy it. The only commercial I could find with any gameplay in it was a McDonald's commercial. But to be fair, the commercial wasn't the first time we heard about this game. Actually, the first look we even got at the game was in probably one of the best movies ever made, The Wizard, which was released December 15th, 1989. It had a few minutes of gameplay. A lot of it was just them like walking and getting points and acting like crazy people.
Watch the mushrooms!
I imagine this scene had the theaters acting the same way as Chicken Jockey did. But was the game really worth all this hype? Guess what? Bowser kidnapped the princess again. Wait, that's not what happened? Oh, I see. Bowser and his 7 kids, Larry, Roy, Lemmy, Ludwig, Iggy, Wendy, and my personal favorite, Morton, are taking over the Mushroom World. Not just the Mushroom Kingdom this time. That's only one of the countries in the whole Mushroom World. They stole the Royal Magic Wand from each country and used them to turn their kings into animals. Mario and Luigi must go retrieve each wand and turn the country's king back to normal. There are 8 different worlds in this game, and each of them actually have a different theme, and none of them repeat this time, unlike one game I know. This game sets the stage for the worlds we will come to love and eventually hate throughout Mario history. We got Grassland, Desertland, Waterland, Giantland, Skyland, Iceland, Pipeland, and Darkland. Each world has its own little world map, which is pretty cool. It's the first time Mario's ever done that. It feels like it gives a little bit more context to Mario's journey and more life to the world, especially with the few mushroom houses and gambling parlors spread between the levels. There's even little enemies that roam around the world map. If you bump into them, you have to do like a little mini battle to move on. There's about 8 to 14 levels per world, with a whopping 90 total levels in the whole game. Not all of these are required to beat, since there are split paths and warp whistles you can find to skip some levels, but if you're playing the game for the first time, I highly recommend playing all of the levels. All of these levels are pretty fun. They are quite a bit shorter than normal, considering the sheer number of them, but depending on who you ask, this could be a good thing. I for one just love blasting through the levels as fast as possible. But then there's also the nice contrast with the new auto-scroll levels that were introduced in this game. Even some of the water levels in this game are pretty good. Of course, like every game, there are some stinkers in there. Like the airships, a lot of these suck. They're just slow and boring most of the time. I know I just said the auto-scroll levels are a nice contrast, but not these ones! It's even worse because they replaced the castles that would normally be at the end of each world, though there are still mid-world fortresses. And these are pretty fun, it kind of fill that hole that the castles left behind. Along with the new scenery, we also have some new power-ups, which there are quite a few of this time. Of course, there's the classic Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Starman returning from the previous games. But new to this game would be the Raccoon Leaf, Frog Suit, Tanuki Suit, and the Hammer Bros suit. The leaf gives you this little tail and ears that lets you perform a spin attack, and kinda slows your falling a little bit. Also, if you build up enough P-speed just by running without stopping for a bit, you can fly for a short period. The Tanuki suit is basically the same exact thing, but you can turn into a stone statue. The frog suit jacks up your walking, but it makes you swim faster, and you have better control underwater. This one's my favorite. Check out this awesome play I did with it. I gotta use my secret weapon. My secret weapon on the final Bowser's castle. That did not last long at all. And finally, the Hammer Bros suit turns you into my worst nightmare from the first game. This one also seems to be like incredibly rare. I only found one suit during my whole playthrough. There's also these items that you can only use on the world map by storing them in your inventory. Gonna do a bit of a lightning round for these because there's a lot of them. P1 gives you the Raccoon Leaf with infinite flight for the next level. Lakitu's Cloud lets you skip a level. The Music Box puts the roaming enemies to sleep. The Anchor stops the airship from moving if you fail the level. Hammer lets you break some stone barricades on the map. And the Warp Whistle lets you skip worlds, kinda like the warp zones from the previous entries. Or if you're me, you use it to reset World 8 when you're on the final level. I'm gonna put a star on just so I don't get shot by that, It's not what I meant to do. Thank you for the follow. This game actually has like a lot of secrets, and it does a great job of hiding them. Sometimes you break a boulder on the map, and there's some houses on the other side. Or maybe you hop in a boat, go off the beaten path, and there's a whole island hiding from you. It actually pays to try finding things around the world map. But there is one secret I'm sure some people don't even know about because of how rare it is. The treasure ship. This ship holds 177 coins and a hidden block containing a 1-up mushroom. It's insane what has to be done to get this thing to appear. You must be in either World 1, 3, 5, or 6. A Wandering Hammer Bros must be on the map. You must finish a level with a coin total ending in a multiple of 11. The tens digit of the player score must match that same multiple of 11. And you better make sure you account for that timer bonus at the end. You can only do this once per eligible world. Good luck! Ghost ship? I don't know what's on the ghost ship. Let's take that just in case. I'll take this to skip the level so we can do it. Oh, it's money. I know you have to do some very specific stuff to get the ghost ship to appear. So that's pretty cool that we got it. I wouldn't really say this game is all that hard. There are a lot of levels and a few of them are a little tough, but the worst thing about this game is that there's no save files. You have to beat this game in one sitting unless you plan on leaving your console on for extended periods of time. I played through every level and it took about 4 hours, which was streamed on my Twitch channel. Go check it out. There were a few hiccups though, mostly in World 8. We already talked about the warp whistle incident, but this world is just rough. It's mostly filled with auto-scroll tank and airship levels, and they just have so many different projectiles on the screen and there's no power-ups. It's just a hard time if you have no power-ups in your inventory either. The upside is once you reach the different screens, there are shortcuts so you can skip a few levels if you game over. However, this does reset if you use a warp whistle. The boss battles are pretty decent in this game. The Koopaling fights are all about the same, except for a few minor differences. But this is still better than fighting the same Bowser 8 times like in the first game. Then there's Boom Boom. Absolutely pathetic. All you gotta do is jump on his head, then he covers himself, and then do that 2 more times. This goes on for every single fortress in the game. They try to power him up by giving him wings later in the game, but as soon as you stomp on him the first time, the fight is basically over. The final fight with Bowser is pretty interesting. You can either blast him with 1 billion fireballs, or you can get him to destroy the ground under him until he falls all the way through. The style and graphics in this game is probably one of my favorites out of all the Mario games. The whole game is meant to look like a play on a stage, which I think was confirmed by Mr. Mario himself, but the graphics are just great for an NES game. The music is pretty good in this game. I'm not going to go through all of them because there are a lot of different tracks, but also because I have the same opinion about all of them. They're pretty good. My favorite one is the World 1 map theme, just because it's so classic. This game has been my favorite Mario game for a very long time now, though I have to admit, playing it on stream was my first full playthrough of the game. The world map is pretty cool, the levels are just so fast and interesting. I have to put this game in S tier, it's so good. If you made it through the end of the video, thank you so much. I'm going to be playing Super Mario World on my Twitch channel here soon. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. I have some opinions on that game, but see you all next time. Have a good day.